Hello everyone, welcome to my floor. I don't feel like sitting in a chair today, so we are going to do my February TBR from my floor. So I have 6 physical books and I believe 3 ebooks that I want to get to. I may be wrong about the ebooks, I can't remember off the top of my head. But let's start going through this. So let's start with the book that I've already started. I had to put it down because I got Onyx Storm. I think you all understand why I had to put this book down to prioritize Onyx Storm. So anyway, the first book that I plan on reading is Heir of Broken Fate by Mads Rafferty, and this is a fae romantasy. Delilah is the princess of her kingdom, and her dad is a tyrant evil ruler. He is cruel. He just kills without cause. He's just horrendous. And in this world, the fae have disappeared. Everyone believes the fae to be dead. Delilah discovers one day that they are not dead, and she goes on this journey into the Fae lands to try to get their help to save her kingdom and get her father off of the throne. I am only 70 pages into this, but I'm already really liking it. I have a feeling it's just going to be an addictive fantasy series, and I know the third one's not out yet. I know the second one is, but I know the third one is not. So it's going to be hard because I'm going to want to read the second one right after this. But I'm going to have to control myself and space it out a little bit so I'm not like dying. But I'm enjoying this so far. I really like the main character. I really like the world so far. And it's really interesting because they know that the fae, well, they think that the fae died, but they don't remember how they died. Like, no one remembers. So I'm really interested to see as to why that is. So this is definitely going to be the first read of February. The next book that is on my February TBR is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. This is the second and final book in this duology. I really like the first one. The first one was One Dark Window, and I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. I've heard this one is even better than the first one, so I'm hoping this will be a 5 out of 5. I'm not going to go into the details of this one because obviously that would be spoilers, but the whole premise of this duology is that there are these things called Providence cards, and they have magic and they give the user magical capabilities, and there are 12 of them, and there's like a certain amount of each card. Like, first card only has 1, the second card there's 2 of them, third card there's 3 of them, like, and so on and so forth. And there's like a curse. People get this like weird sickness and then they get put to death, and if they collect all of a full set of the Providence cards, they can break the curse. So they're on the quest to do that. And the main character, Elspeth, I believe her name was, she has one of the cards, the Nightmare, living inside of her head. I'm really interested in this. It just seems like it's going to get darker and darker, and I love some dark stuff. So I'm excited to get to this one. The next one, since it's February, I have to have a hockey romance on here. So that is going to be Consider Me by Becca Mack. I've seen so many people talk so good about this. Like, everyone loves it. Also, I just love the watercolors on the cover. I think it's absolutely stunning. This one is about Carter, who is an NHL hockey player, and it's also about Olivia, who is a teacher. Olivia's best friend dates a professional hockey player, so she's just like, I don't want to date a hockey player. I'm just going to stay away, want nothing to do with them. Carter has other plans. Carter wants Olivia, and he isn't going to play fair to get her. So I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be great. It's kind of a little bit chunky for a romance book, so I'm excited. I like chunkier romances because there's more information, there's more time with the characters. I get more connected in a bigger romance. So I cannot wait to read this one. Also, this has been on my TBR for months now, but Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. I'm about 350 pages in, I think. Yeah, 350 pages in. I do want to get a good chunk of this read. I want to read at least like maybe 200, 300, 400 more pages of it in February. I want to finish this by the end of March. So we're going to make a dent into this chunker. If you don't know what the Stormlight Archive is, you're living under a rock in my world. So Brandon Sanderson writes really high, complex political fantasies, and his Stormlight Archive series is the most complex of them all. It's part of the Cosmere universe. A bunch of his books, they're connected in some way in the Cosmere, and it's really fun reading all them and seeing like the little Easter eggs. And this one has my heart. I love this series so much. So I need to read this because then I got to read Sunlit Man, and then I got to read the next Wind of Truth. Can't remember. But definitely want to get a good chunk of this run in February. Next up is a book that I've heard all great things about, and I'm so excited to read, and that is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This book, first of all, stunning. That is the theme of this month, just stunning covers. And it's romantasy, and it's about Tessania, who is a slave, and she accidentally, I guess, murders the most powerful man in Threll, and she has to flee because of it, and she ends up pledging herself to the Orders, which is an organization of magic wielders, and she gets an apprenticeship with Maxentarius, who is a handsome and reclusive fire wielder who despises the Order. I've heard such great things. I love this author. I cannot wait to check this out. And this is another one I know once I read it, I'm going to want to read the rest of the trilogy. And I really should not be spending money on more books when I have a wedding I'm saving up for. But we might do it anyway. So this is definitely on the TBR. The next and final physical book on my TBR is one that I really haven't heard anyone talk about. I've seen a lot of people haul it, but I haven't seen anyone read it yet. So that book is The Half King by Melissa Landers. I have the Fairy Loot edition, which is just absolutely ridiculously stunning. I love these Fairy Loot editions so much. So this one is about, I think her name is pronounced Ceres. I might be mispronouncing her name wrong, but she is the second-born daughter, and as second-born daughter, she has to pledge her life to the goddess, and she's supposed to be an oracle, but she kind of sucks at being an oracle, so she's given the opportunity to serve the Half-King. And the Half-King is a young man who rules by day and turns to shadow at sunset, and by his 21st birthday, he is going to vanish completely. And so she goes and serves him and is trying to, I guess, help him break this curse of turning into a shadow. And I'm assuming they're going to fall in love. I'm assuming. So maybe this will be my next Shadow Daddy book. We'll see. But I'm really, really excited for this one. This one also my fiance chose for me. He doesn't want to be on camera. But I had him come in and choose a book off of my TBR card. And he chose this one. Not because it's pretty. Not because it's cool, but he thought the Half King meant the main character was going to be like a really, really short person. I love my fiance. So this is the final physical book on my TBR. Okay, so the first ebook that I want to read is Train in the Heart by Paisley Hope. This is a cowboy romance. This is the second in this series, and this one follows Wade and Ivy. Wade, it's his family that owns the ranch, and he loves everything being consistent. He loves a routine, he loves order, and then in comes Ivy, who is their new horse trainer, and she is just chaos. She has a different way of doing things, and her and Wade are gonna bump heads a lot. There's gonna be a lot of chaotic, I can see there's already gonna be so much banter, and I'm so excited. I love this first book so much. I cannot wait to get a book in Wade's point of view. I'm like in my cowboy romance era. I think I just want to read cowboy romances all the time. I love a good ranch romance. So the next book that I want to read on my Kindle is Monster of the Dagger Mountain by Meredith Hart. This book comes out February 18th, and this is about Kira, who is failing at her magic studies, and she's given one last chance to prove herself, and that is to go on a special mission to find an ex-student who murdered a god and took his power, and she has to take it back. And so she's going to this mountain to try to find him. He ends up discovering them and ends up infiltrating their camp, and he is trying to seduce her to get information and figure out what's going on. And it's not going to go his way because he can't resist her. And I'm just really excited for this romantasy. I love the idea of a god killer and him being isolated and then finding love. It just sounds like it's going to be very, very good. So I am super excited for this and cannot wait to read it. The final book that I want to read in February is Shadows and Roses by Sastry Sylvester. This book comes out March 1st. And this is about Cassian, who is a Prince of Night, and he kind of can make pretty much any aristocrat bend to his will. and his next target is a cruel queen named Anais. It's Anais. Anais, however you pronounce that, I'm not entirely sure. So he has to go kind of gather information and kind of take her down because she's just cruel, and so is her court. And I'm guessing that when he gets there and starts getting to know her, he's going to realize that that's not necessarily the case. So I'm excited for this. The summary is very, very vague, but I like going into books without knowing much because it makes it more impactful to me. So I cannot wait to check this one out, see how it's doing, and hopefully I like it. We'll see. There's no reviews on Goodreads for it yet from ARC readers or anything, so I have no idea how people feel about it yet. No one's read it. So I'm excited to read it and go into it completely blind without anyone else's opinions in my head. So I'm excited. So that is my February TBR. I'm really excited. I've been in such a reading mood lately, and I'm hoping that continues on into February, and I cannot wait to get to all of these. It's a lot of books, but I can do it. I'm on 18 books so far for January, so I think I can do it. Let me know what you guys are reading in the comments, and if you like this video, please like it, and please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Bye, everyone.